Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as the class of 2020 misses their chance to walk across the stage, one woman shares how it was a moment she had waited decades for. And we show you how Apple Shop in Letcher County continues to promote art in Appalachia while maintaining pandemic safety measures.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is June 17th, and it's also Wednesday, like we like to call it, Hump Day. And this is probably a good hump to get over. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson because those temperatures will be kind of nice outside today before we get into those scorching temperatures this weekend.
So I got a couple more days of these more unseasonable temperatures, rather. A lot of folks probably wishing they were seasonable, but unseasonably cool temperatures. But this morning, again, we're kind of watching the fog. We're kind of watching the rain. Not a whole lot of either this morning. Logan seeing some limited visibility, so we're kind of keeping an eye on that. Otherwise, not too bad across our region temperature-wise. 50s and low 60s, 61 in London, 62 in Jackson. Everybody else in the mid to upper 50s as you head out the door. We take a look at where we were from today, from this time 24 hours ago, and you see several spots, especially in most of the area, a few degrees warmer now down toward the Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee border, Cumberland Valley, Lake Cumberland. You see a couple of spots a couple of degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. 12-hour planner, 70 for a daytime high. Yes, it's June 17th, and the forecast high is 70. Scattered chances for rain will be around today, back and forth with the cloud cover, so that's why we're going to see those cooler temperatures and less humid temperatures as we've seen the last few days will continue. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And the USA Drone Port here in Perry County has a new partnership with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Florida, the world's largest fully accredited university specializing in aviation and aerospace. Not only will this allow educators from around the world to interact with Appalachia, but will also provide a unique workforce. Additionally, 3 AML grants associated with Drone Port and 2 new buildings will now provide new opportunities to the mountains.
This will give students from grade school all the way through university levels to come in and test ground and air robotics inside that facility. Got approximately 125 people who have got their pilot's license through our classes in this region, and a lot of them are using drones on a daily or weekly basis.
Massey says construction on the buildings can take up to 18 months. HCTC will also be holding a virtual seminar with educators from Embry about degree possibilities through the partnership on Monday. And one Pike County graduate is more disappointed than most at losing the chance to walk across the stage because it is a walk that she has been looking forward to for more than 30 years. WYMT's Buddy Forbes talked to her about her journey and how she hopes it will inspire others.
It took 38 years.
It's never too late. I'm 55 years old, and I've done it.
But Valina Stacy finally achieved a lifelong goal.
And he told me, he said, you know, we've never had a woman to graduate this program since this school's been here. I said, well, I'm going to be your first.
And she was right. Stacy is the first woman to graduate from Big Sandy Community and Technical College's Industrial Maintenance Program. And her professor says she has left quite a mark on the program.
I even had one student start calling her Mama. You know, I guess they just felt that connection with her, like she's family. So she's a great encourager.
But it all stems from a mark that will forever be found on her.
This baby here on my arm, I got this tattoo in honor of this baby because I received its kidneys.
Stacy received a kidney transplant in 2017. And her donor was an infant.
And I thank God every day and thank that family. What a that was just a great act they could do for someone. And I want to thank, I would love to thank those people someday in person.
She said that day changed everything for her. And she just wanted to make that family, whoever they are, proud of the way she is using their gift.
I got a second chance on life, and I'm doing everything I can to succeed and do the best I can with the rest of my life I have left.
Something she will never take for granted. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Moore says Stacy is paving a path for women in that field and showing that industrial maintenance is more than just a man's world. And Pikeville Medical Center is urging caretakers to continue bringing their children in for annual checkups and physicals. PMC pediatrician Aranda Wells says the hospital is following strict guidelines to keep patients safe when they come in for visits. But they say they have seen a decrease in the number of pediatric visits since the pandemic started. She says these visits are important for kids.
We do not have a vaccine yet for COVID. We're taking all the precautions that we can to try to prevent COVID in our community, but we don't have a vaccine. But I can vaccinate your child for meningococcemia, which is life-threatening. I can vaccinate your child for strep pneumo and H flu or pertussis, and that may save your child's life too.
Wells says that people should make appointments as soon as possible to prepare for the potential return to school. An apple shop in Letcher County has promoted art in Appalachia for 50 years. And their Summer Documentary Institute, a summer workshop that has been around for 30 years, will look a little different this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Students from the ages of 14 to 22 are still getting hands-on experience, just in a different way than they normally would.
Instead of producing our usual video work, we're producing audio pieces to kind of capture this moment of what it looks like in East Kentucky to live through a pandemic.
The Appalachian Media Institute hosts many different kinds of workshops each spring, summer, and fall. Some of the workshops double as internships, allowing students to get paid. That way, those interested who rely on summer jobs don't miss out on the experience. And as the global pandemic continues, so are Team Kentucky's efforts to ensure that we will get through this together. Andrea Walker shows us a pandemic creation that truly rocks.
Instead of kicking rocks in quarantine, Tina Maloney is painting them in honor of folks on the front lines in the fight against COVID-19.
I'm retired from the Army, 9 years in the Army, and as a medic, and I really wanted to be able to get out and do something to help people. But health reasons, I cannot. So this was a way I could raise money for people. They get a really cool piece of art, and I'm doing something to help.
So far, Tina's projects have run the gamut, with everything from medical staff and mailmen to police officers and even a priest.
And I also did a plumber with his own business, did his little logo on this shirt because he said plumbers were essential.
Oh, they are. That's very true. Half of the proceeds from each rock are being donated to Kentucky's COVID-19 Relief Fund. Tina sent her first check off just last week. And with 3 pages of requests still on her plate,
everybody's asking me to do Andy and Virginia. I haven't quite got them designed out yet.
She's looking forward to sending more.
I've got so many orders I can hardly keep up.
In Lexington, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
And if you'd like to order your own custom designed brick, you can find a link to this story on WYMT.com. And Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams is expecting a historically high turnout in Kentucky's primary election. Nearly 819,000 Kentuckians requested an absentee ballot for the June 23rd primary, and another 48,000 have already voted in person. The Secretary of State says combined, that's about 27% of registered voters. Anyone who requested an absentee ballot must have it in the mail by primary day, but results likely won't be official until June 30th. And the University of Kentucky released its start plan for the fall yesterday. Classes will start August 17th, and that's a week earlier than planned. There will be no Labor Day holiday or fall break, and the semester will end at Thanksgiving break. Final exams will go out after Thanksgiving break, and everyone will have to do a self-assessment before coming to campus. Everyone will be required to wear masks on campus unless alone or eating or drinking. Students will receive a starter kit with PPE and other items. Testing will also be available to everyone. Areas will also have limited capacity. And former Kentucky quarterback and Leslie County native Tim Couch has been added to the 2021 ballot for induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Couch is among 99 players on the ballot. Couch rewrote the UK record books between 1996 and 98 and was a Heisman Trophy finalist. Couch was the 1998 SEC Player of the Year and first-team All-American, passing for more than 4,200 yards and 36 touchdowns that season. For his career, Couch set 7 NCAA records, 14 SEC records, and 26 school records. And September cannot get here quick enough for football fans. Despite no firm answer on whether there will be a college football season, UK is moving the home opener against Eastern Michigan to September 3rd. Initially, it was set for Saturday the 5th, but the Kentucky Derby is now slated for that day. So as long as sports gets the green light, football moves to Thursday with a run for the Roses 2 days later. And the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission has limited whipping at tracks in the Commonwealth. Riders will be limited to 6 uses of the whip after the first furlong. The jockey won't be able to strike the horse more than 2 times in a row without giving the horse time to respond. The rules won't likely go into effect until later this year or early next. That means this year's Derby will likely not have a limit. And just ahead on Mountain News this morning, as reopening processes continue, we caught up with one local brewery about how they stayed afloat.
A lot of folks are asking the question, when is summer heat going to be here? I'll tell you when and track it out for you in about 3 minutes.